Hi, everybody. Happy Saturday. And today I'm going to try to review the Kaiser Permanente breach that was announced a couple days ago. And so this is not their first breach. They had one a couple years ago. So it's just a little unique, a little different, but same thing, a little exposure. And like rabbits, breaches are multiplying exponentially in the wild. All right, so the summary for this particular incident is that Kaiser shared information through third-party advertisers. Normally, this may not be a huge deal. It's a marketing strategy, but they are a healthcare provider of sorts, and so this makes it something that may not be advisable. So it exposed or affected 13 million people, current and past customers. This data breach occurred by using technologies that are on their website. Kaiser has mentioned that they have stopped using these technologies. They don't particularly call out all the technologies that they use, but some of these technologies that are used on websites for marketing strategies and in apps are web logs, internet cookies, web beacons, and retargeting. So to me, this kind of sounds like the web development team or the marketing team or a combination of them may have not been super knowledgeable about rules and regulations regarding healthcare. And so some of these regulations are like High Tech Act. People probably heard the term HIPAA before. And so these type of acts and things that affect your organization just need to constantly be thrown in front of you, and educated people need to be educated about it. And so I'll currently categorize this probably as an accidental data breach. It involved what you might actually even term insiders from lack of knowledge and maybe a level of negligence. Kaiser notified the government via the breach notification portal for the HHS, which is the Health and Human Services Office for Civil Rights. This is a required process for health organizations. Kaiser submitted the information around April 12th, and now they're confirming that this has occurred as of Thursday, April 24th, out in the wild. Oops. So the summary is that affected customers will be notified by Kaiser. There's at least one press release from a law firm already offering services to those have been affected. This press release includes commenting on the dangers of such a breach, like identity theft, legal challenges, financial implications, and so let the lawsuits proceed. And so, what is the breach notification portal? So, this is a portal managed by Health and Human Services for Civil Rights Department. It is the portal where organizations who fall under any HIPAA regulations may have to report the breaches. And so this particular breach, the information that might be provided is what happened, how many people are affected, and some basic information like when did they discover it. So Kaiser Permanente is a managed care group. It's a health system. It's based out of California. There's approximately about 38 hospitals, probably thousands of employees, and close to 700 medical groups as part of their organization. Health and Human Services for Civil Rights. This is a governmental department that tries to protect and advocate for citizens' health. Their mission statement is actually the mission of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services is to enhance the health and well-being of all Americans by providing for effective health and human services by fostering sound, sustained advances in sciences underlying medical, public health, and social services. So what is HIPAA? HIPAA is the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act of 1996. You'll hear this term a lot. Most of us don't understand it well. And so if you work for an organization that's trying to educate you on what this is, do your best to pay attention, do your best to understand the basics, and you should be okay. Health Insurance Portability Act of 1996 is a federal law that required the creation of national standards to protect sensitive patient information from being disclosed without the patient's consent or knowledge. So, what is the HIPAA privacy rule? So, the privacy rule actually states that, and this is a snippet, in general, a covered healthcare provider with direct treatment and with a direct treatment relationship must obtain the individual's consent prior to using or disclosing protected health information to carry out treatment, payment, or healthcare operations. So, in this case, there is a connection with using the site and that particular website, trying to share that information with third-party advertisers who now know who has been using that site and possibly for what. So the security rule applies to health plans, healthcare clearinghouses, and to any healthcare provider who transmits health information in electronic form in connection with the transaction for which the Secretary of HHS has adopted standards under HIPAA. So what is high tech? High tech is a act. It's the Health Information Technology for Economic and Clinical Health Act. It was passed in 2009 to encourage the adoption of electronic health records and related technology in the United States for healthcare. And so high tech also provides security and privacy benefits for patients. So this is probably, an attempt to bring healthcare into a digital realm and also protect and secure people's privacy. So, one of the things that occurred during this breach was probably the use of internet cookies. You may have heard about this over the years when you use websites. So, internet cookies are small text files that a web server may send to a web browser to track a user's online activity. So, this, from a marketing standpoint or web development team, this tool helps monitor or figure out what you're doing on their website and just basically keep track of you. And so, what is PHI? Protected health information. So, this is any information in a medical record or designated record set that can be used to identify an individual that was created, used, or disclosed in the course of providing healthcare services, such as a diagnosis or treatment. What is retargeting? Retargeting is the concept of trying to re-engage visitors that have come to your website or websites by targeting and tracking their visiting habits. Part of the digital campaign or strategy for a site to try to entice you to either come back more or share information that's more customized to your viewing habits and your surfing habits. So what are web beacons? Web beacons is a technique used on web pages and email. And so basically what it is it's usually a small tag of some sort, like a small GIF, like a white GIF. It's usually a pixel or something like that. And you usually don't really see it, but it's there, and through the technologies in websites and web development, it helps figure out more about you and your viewing habits. So weblogs, what are weblogs? They're records. That a site might store about a visitor. It could be anything from like your IP address, your operating system, where you went on the site, did you click on certain things, what did you look at? These weblogs are used in the overall strategy, again, for marketing and trying to figure out how to create sites that are more enticing and provide information for people who actually go to those particular web pages. And so, final comments: organizations are large. It's really hard to understand all the legalities about privacy rules and to share that information with all of your employees. It's important to educate people. It's important to have processes and policies that will help protect your patients, your customers. Internal audits are tools. They help find some of these oversights, and these are things that a company has to do to try to do the right thing and try to get their employees to do the right thing. You can't have every piece of information, education. Not everyone can know all that stuff, and so it's really important to have your own internal campaign to help with this. And education processes, policies, these are stepping stones to help protect your customers, your patients. And so being a little excited about selling information to a third party advertiser doesn't help these situations. So as a healthcare organization, creating websites, some of these things are normal practices. We may not always agree on how much companies do. There's always concerns about privacy. People can turn off things, they can use extensions and filters and stuff to try to protect themselves a little bit as individuals. But, companies do try to make the best of what they can do. They try to make money, they're looking for advertising dollars. And sometimes the departments don't always talk to each other, and I'm sure that this could potentially have been a situation where the marketing team and the web development team were not on the same page as those who have to protect patient rights. So, this is also aggravated by the fact that Kaiser Permanente actually had an exposure back in 2022, and that involved employee emails containing patient protected health information. So that's unfortunate, and so there are tools to stop that. And so there are email filters that can prevent employees that are using employee emails to from sharing unintended PHI. And so mentioning that information is secure, it should be private. There are actually already attorneys look into to reach out to victims and people whose information may have been exposed. So it's already out there. So if you hear from Kaiser Permanente that your information has been exposed, may not be long before you hear from a lawyer talking about it as well. And so again, the Kaiser breach, oops, they did it again. And so what are you going to do? Just kind of watch out for your information. If Kaiser Permanente has exposed your information, they will reach out to you. They will notify you if you're one of their um, patients. You could probably go to their website and see how that goes for you. And then good luck if it's you. We hope it's not, and hope you learned something. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.